Game's just finished, 2-1 England. Ryan, how did you how did you enjoy that? Wow,
Enjoy,
that was something.
en- enjoy probably isn't the right word, but just really massive performance from Harry Kane. You wouldn't want that ball to fall to any other player, and I quite honestly think nobody in world football getting the ball in the position that he had it there under that pressure would have stuck the ball in the net like that. I maybe Mbappe, maybe, but you know that was something incredible, and arguably potentially one of the biggest moments of English football the
Mm.
last 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, is that this is the question? Is that Kane's biggest moment in an England shirt? Because he did two against Tunisia. This is about 8 years ago, and that wasn't even a knockout game. He scored in knockout It's good in knockout games, but even the big one, I guess, was the penalty against Denmark, but that was from a missed penalty rebound from him. So that might be his biggest performance for England so
Yeah,
far.
certainly in terms of if you consider the two goals, but also even at the end there, he had the players round in the circle. You can just see his energy is probably this is most likely my last World Cup. I'm one of the best players in the world. Doing absolutely everything to win this trophy. Come with me, gents. And that's the sort of
Mm.
approach I saw when he had them all round in a circle. And really, again, we mentioned this, but if we can play to his strengths with a few of the players playing to the standards that we know they can get to, i.e., Bellingham and Rice, who I'd say are probably our next two world class players, and the others just keep into form. I mean, we can touch on some of the areas of weakness in this game, but play around that Kane, get Rice and Bellingham to perform when we need them, and we know they have done and they
Mm.
will do, and the rest just not making mistakes and just doing enough. That's what's going to get us all the way to the final, hopefully. But you are putting a lot of pressure on Kane, but I think he's got the balls, he's got the boots to do it as well.
You make a fair point, and I think it's clear that we've got three materially better players than the rest of the squad, and it's obviously Kane, Bellingham, Rice, and they are the locker room leaders. Even when we're singing Wonderwall at the end, they're the three that are rallying the troops. Frankly, everything good about this team goes through them, and I thought Bellingham had his moments. Bellingham really pushed on, and he had a great impact in the second goal. Declan Rice was just brilliant, going as a right back, and he changed the game as a right back out of
Yeah,
position. It was incredible from Rice. I think that's one of Rice's best performances in England shirt too. He deserves a lot of credit.
yeah, because I mean, no one was putting in the balls in the first half, were they? Maduanke struggled. Rashford, you know, just offered nothing really. He had a good chance to score as well. Fair play, he took his man on, and that's the type of approach that we need. But just no end product.
Mm,
As soon as you get Rice, a
mm,
world class player on the right flank, coming from right back, swinging those balls in, all of a
mm,
sudden that sort of got the momentum. And every time Rice was in a position where he was going to cross the ball, everyone was flooding into the box because they knew the delivery would be spot on. And to be fair to Gordon, I did see a post saying, "Oh, the game changed when Gordon came on." I think that's probably over egging it. It wasn't down to him. We did throw literally everything at Congo. There were times when we literally had one man back, and we could have quite easily
mm.
been put on the counter attack. So I wouldn't necessarily say it was just down to the substitution of Gordon, more the fact that the whole team was literally getting into the box. But he probably did out of all the wingers, he probably did the most. Um, Saka again, just look
Mm.
himself. So that's the real worries for me.
It is, yeah, and Maduanke has to be hooked out of the team, but as we say, Saka's not fit enough. So do we go Morgan Rogers? He seems to like Eze. He always brings Eze on. I haven't seen much from Eze on his three appearances so far when he's come on, so I'm not sure what he'll do there. Spence, as I referenced a few minutes ago, but Spence has to be dropped after that performance. He's just not good enough defensively. I would bring in Conter as a right back. I'd bring in Stones for a bit of that stability. Stones, Gay, and O'Reilly all played together at City as well. Another worry, though, is that Pickford, and we've said this to be fair, but Pickford's always got an error in him, and I think he could have done more for that first goal as well. I think, I think he's culpable. But then Spence was just, Spence was torn apart by that number 9 for Congo. It was ridiculous. He was looking like prime Ronaldo off that left flank, that guy.
I think they're slightly harsh on Pickford. Yes, he probably should have said it wasn't a howler though, and he has always been very, very strong for England. So I wouldn't read too much into that. But certainly at the right back, I mean, the best course of action would be that, or the best hope we've got is James is back for the Mexico game. But if not, I'd agree, move Concert to right back and bring in Stones. Um, but yeah, it's the wingers again for me. I just don't
Mm.
know where we turn to at this point. I would probably play Rogers now on the wing. Gordon and Rogers maybe. I don't think, like you say, Eze has set the world alight at all. He's not been able to get into the games. Maybe if you started him, it could be a different thing. I do think Eze is a confidence player. He's not like a Kane or a Bellingham who,
Mm.
would almost sort of fight against the odds and almost
Mm.
gets even better if the pressure against them. I think Eze, Madueke as well, a bit sort of, if the press is against them, if the England fans are sort of on their back. And I do sort of wonder, is he still carrying that Champions League penalty miss on his shoulders? Because he hasn't looked the spark that we have
Mm.
sometimes seen of him, and certainly in his Palace days. I mean, if you put an Eze Palace Eze in this team, he'll probably be our best winger right now.
Yes, it's a weird one in a way because Palace Eze was actually deemed a better player, I think, by the masses than Palace Elise as well. And look how that's
Yeah.
changed over the course of the last 2 years as well. It's also interesting that even 70 minutes in, we're 1-0 down. He only changed the players. He didn't change the system. I
Mm,
would have changed the system and probably, to be honest, hook someone like, I don't know, take Anderson and just completely change the system. Brought on a Ivan Toney, Ollie Watkins as well. And really, if the manager gets credit here, I think that is completely incorrect. I think one man, Harry Kane, deserves complete credit for it. You can say Gordon. Gordon had 2 assists on paper too, and particularly for the first goal, that was a nice cross from him. But the second was all Kane. And as you say, there's probably only a handful of players ever who could have scored that goal as well. And Kane's just the man. What is it now? 84 goals for England, 13 World Cup goals, overtakes Pele. What a player! I mean, and he's just such a leader for England.
mm. Yeah. I mean, that probably if it wasn't already, that solidifies him as England's all-time best player. Rooney was an incredible player, and it's a toss-up between the two of them in terms of how good a player they were, but in terms of results, Kane
Mm,
is massively overperformed on Rooney, certainly in an England shirt, because you look back to the Rooney era, he wasn't able to grab that game by the horns and score a goal like that. He'll be whinging and sort of
mm,
getting red faced and sort of blow up and get a red card. You know, Harry Kane keeps his composure on 2 occasions, certainly for the second goal, and just said, "I'm getting this in the back of net by any means necessary." In a crazy angle to have.
mm.
He did not have any legal right to shoot from there, but he
He
did.
didn't.
And what a goal! What a goal!
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be fascinating, this Mexico game as well. So it's about 1 a.m. Monday morning or Sunday evening, depending on the way you look at life in the UK. And that's going to be tricky. As we said, at altitude against the hosts, Mexico have never lost a World Cup game in Mexico City or the Azteca. The atmosphere is going to be absolutely crazy. I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. And they've got that bit of quality, Mexico. Quinones and Jimenez have been fantastic through the tournament and no goals conceded either. So that is going to be a slog in 35-degree heat. You can imagine the red faces, as you say, of the England team are sweating after about 5 minutes or so in that cauldron.
Yeah, it's going to be a massively difficult game. But again, you would be disappointed if we got knocked out by Mexico. You actually break their team down. Jimenez probably their best player. Jimenez is, you know, average, maybe good striker at best for Fulham. As he moved to Wolves, he's playing in the Championship next year.
Mm,
He'll be at Sinsel Bank at Lincoln's ground next year. That's the levels. Whereas we've got half our team playing in Champions League quarter semi-finals.
mm,
So I think we just need to do what we can do, and that should be enough. And it's not going to be an easy game, of course, but it's not like we're playing a team full of winners.
mm.
well organized and well drilled, but still beatable.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be such a great. I think that'll be a memorable tie as well. I think Tuchel just needs to make these team decisions and these strong decisions, like we've said, as well. So that's the plan for England. From a podcast perspective, what we're going to do as well for all of our loyal subscribers and loyal listeners, we're going to open this up before some of the England games. So we're going to do a dial-in type option as well. So I know a few of you have been calling out to put your opinions forward. So we're going to do a dial in, have a few minutes, chat to us, pass on your opinions, tell us what's right, what's wrong with life, quite frankly. We're very much looking forward to hearing our loyal supporters. And we're already giving away a free shirt as well to one of our subs. So we do appreciate all of your support.
It'd be great as well if we can get some international people, maybe people in and amongst we can see in the stats that we have viewers in America, in Mexico. So anyone out there that wants to give us a buzz, and we'll try and get you on a dial in.
Brilliant. Thank you, everyone. That's an immediate reaction from us. Please do like and subscribe. Best of Rivals podcast. It really helps us. Appreciate it and see you in Mexico.